Well, it took a long time, but they finally got Mr. Big. Oh, those 5 police officers that killed Tyre Nichols, that was the small stuff. They really wanted the big enchilada. And so after painstaking work, and they probably made all kinds of plea deals with these officers because, after all, they need their sworn testimony to nail Mr. Big, and they finally got him. Man, he is in big trouble. It says here, what decertification documents say about former Memphis Police Department officer Preston Hemphill, fired in the, well, it says Tyre Nichols attack. We're going to read the decertification documents, and a little warning up there. Some of you may be a little squeamish, so if you have a real problem hearing news that's gory and violent, you might want to skip this one, because we're going to talk about the depraved behavior of Preston Hemphill, and it's not going to be pretty. Oh, who in the hell am I kidding? It's a joke. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
So I could click on this link and it picks up this news article. However, as soon as you start reading it, it wants you to read some advertisement. So I went ahead and just printed it, and we're going to read that part. The documents detail Hemphill's actions in Nichols' arrest, calling Hemphill's behavior unprofessional and unbecoming of a sworn public servant. Okay, let's read them. And I really can't blow this thing up much larger for you without it just going off the edge, so I'm just going to have to read it, and here we go. Memphis police have released decertification documents for former MPD officer Preston Hemphill. He was the 6th officer fired. Yeah. Let's skip down. The documents detail Hemphill's actions in Nichols' arrest, calling Hemphill's behavior unprofessional. Yeah. I want to hear about what he did. Okay, put the children to bed. They don't need to be hearing this. One of the passages in the document reads, "Subject was removed from the vehicle by you and your partners." Really? Let's take a look at that. All right, so here is Hemphill. He shows up at the scene, and he's going to get involved. Now watch him pull the suspect out of the car.
You get your ass blown the out.
Kind of looks to me like the other dude's doing it, but let's go ahead and watch on.
Damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't hurt your ass. All right.
Tyre Nichols is already out of the car.
All right.
And there's Hemphill's hands. Gee, it doesn't look like he pulled Tyre Nichols out of the car at all. Okay, so we have lie number 1. Preston Hemphill actually did not pull Tyre Nichols out of the car. That was Officer Martin. Audio from the body-worn camera captured you using the assaultive statement. The assaultive statement. Get on the fucking ground. Finna tase your ass. Oh my God. A police officer using profanity during an arrest. This has never been done before. I have never heard an officer stoop to such low behavior. Are you kidding me? Now look, I don't like officers using profanity either, but I don't think they should get fired for it. They should be told, hey, kind of cut back on that a little bit, all right? Subject was not using profanity or showed signs of violence towards you. So I guess it would have been okay to use profanity in that kind of situation? I don't know. The subject ran away from officers on foot down Ross. Okay. You can be heard on body camera telling your partner, I hope they stomp his ass. Oh my gosh. By the way, that had nothing to do with the assault on Tyre Nichols. The assault had already started when he made that comment. They didn't mention that in this report, but we have the timestamps. I showed you in my dumb argument number 3 that Tyre Nichols was already being attacked when Preston Hemphill made that comment. Your behavior was unprofessional and unbecoming of a sworn public servant. Gee, I wonder what they would say about those cops that had that gangbang going on with that one female cop. Your actions place you in violation of DR 104, personal conduct. Yeah, I'm sure that there's some personal conduct code that says you're supposed to say nice syrupy things, you're not supposed to use any profanity. Yeah, I get it. Okay, we move on. You deployed your taser for 3 seconds while the subject was on his feet and in a running motion from you. All right. Is that a violation of police conduct code? Well, there's none listed here. Why is it that you stated he was in violation of DR 104, personal conduct, but when you're talking about the use of the taser, you don't mention anything about any particular code? Gee, I wonder why. Now, it could be that Memphis Police Department has its own use of taser policy. I'll have to look that up. But whatever the case, I mean, he used a taser to try to help detain a subject that might have violated police policy. I don't know. The subject was not armed and did not impose an immediate threat to you or others. Again, maybe you can only use your taser if you perceive an immediate threat. But in reality, I think if you perceive an immediate threat, you're probably supposed to go for your gun. But it depends on the level of threat, of course. The subject was also in the middle of the street while traffic was still present when you deployed the taser. Well, let's take a look. Okay, right about here is when he's going to get free. Now let's look at the traffic. All right, let's see here. Where's the traffic? I don't see a car in sight. Okay, there's some cars there. Gee, those are police cars, and they're stopped. Where's the traffic? I don't see any traffic. We have one car way down the street. And Tyre Nichols is nowhere near it. He's running on the left side of the actual divider, and the car is on the other side. Okay, so that was lie number 2, that Tyre Nichols ran through traffic, and therefore Preston Hemphill should not have been able to use his taser. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. It says, you put everyone involved at risk of serious bodily injuries due to oncoming traffic. Well, let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to look at this again, and I want you to tell me who there is in serious jeopardy of suffering serious bodily injuries because of Preston Hemphill's tasing of Tyre Nichols. Now, he didn't actually tase him. The taser didn't work, but I mean, the idea would have been that if it had, Tyre Nichols would have fallen down and therefore placed everybody in serious jeopardy. Let's watch. Okay, right here is when he's going to leave. Now, again, if the taser had worked, whose lives would have been in serious jeopardy? Let's watch this.
Stop! I'm not doing it.
Okay, right here is when he's going to first try to tase him. All right, whose lives are in serious jeopardy if the taser worked right at that moment? Whose lives are in serious jeopardy? Can anybody tell me whose lives were in serious jeopardy? So that's lie number 3. They made this up because they wanted to fire him. Another portion of the document says Hemphill acknowledged he did not witness reckless driving by Nichols, which was the reason originally stated for pulling him over. All right, let's be clear here. And they are wording this very carefully to give you the false impression. Preston Hemphill did not pull over Tyre Nichols. And the fact that he did not see Tyre Nichols' reckless driving means nothing. Let's see why. Okay, so I went over to Rick Gore's channel, Good Luck America, and because he had this video of Preston Hemphill arriving at the scene. Now explain to me when Preston Hemphill could have possibly known that there was or wasn't any reckless driving taking place.
So when I'm looking at the speed, I'm like, he's not really driving real fast. I don't see things flying by quickly as he's driving. Speed looks maybe, 40 there? Maybe this is 60, 80, 100. So we're not even 40 miles an hour.
All right. By the way, he's got the body cam activated. He's gotten the call. Cops don't drive around with their body cams on unless they've gotten a call. So he's received a call that somebody has reported reckless driving. Let's watch Hemphill arrive on the scene.
Doesn't look like he's racing to anything. Well, it sounds like, as the video goes on, this is a guy backing up the already stop in place. Where is the video of Tyre driving recklessly? That's how you stop rumors. When you don't show that, so now he's up to 60 miles an hour. When you don't show the video of the suspect to justify the cops weren't lying about the stop, that's when you get these false narratives. So, was he reckless driving? We don't know. The cop said he was. We don't know. Who believes a cop nowadays? Well, if you're an idiot, you do. If you've got any common sense whatsoever, you don't believe a cop, government, the media, or anybody. Okay? Verify.
Okay, so he turns on his blues here. So he's pulling up to the scene. Let me ask you a question. How could Hemphill have possibly seen the reckless driving that supposedly took place? He couldn't have. He was pretty far away when he got the call. He doesn't know whether Tyre Nichols was driving recklessly or not. But he got a call that he was. They call that reasonably articulated suspicion. In fact, getting a call that a crime is underfoot, that's almost a perfect example of reasonably articulated suspicion. And under those circumstances, he can help detain a suspect.
Verify the facts. So now he's stopping, and then he gets out, and this is the confrontation where there's already one or two cops here.
Okay, there was already two cops there. He's already been stopped for a while. So there was no chance in hell that Hemphill could have witnessed the reckless driving anyway. So why is everybody making a big deal out of the fact that Hemphill didn't claim that there was reckless driving? And still in another portion, Hemphill was cited for having two pairs of personally owned handcuffs on him, but not having the handcuffs issued by the Memphis Police Department. Okay, that's the uniform violation, by the way, that they listed as one of the reasons for firing him. I don't know how serious that is. Could this be simply he just grabbed the wrong pair? Don't know. I mean, does it make any sense why you would want to bring a different pair of handcuffs than the ones that were issued to you? I have no idea. The documents also said Hemphill violated a requirement to complete a response to resistance form with a true account of the arrest. Okay, so here we go. It reads, you are required to complete a response to resistance form of a true account of the incident on January 7th, 2023. In your statement, you said the subject attempted to grab your partner's service weapon. There is no video footage to corroborate that statement. Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean it didn't happen, or that he thought it might have happened. You then provided a conflicting statement to ISB investigators and said you did not see the subject grab your partner's gun. So when the investigators came around, you said, okay, I didn't see it. You also said the subject fought you and your partner. Video evidence showed the subject running from you while you attempted to grab him. Gee, I think he was probably talking about a little bit earlier than that when they were trying to get him down on the ground. And yeah, you could characterize that as fighting. After a review of the circumstances, blah, blah, blah. None of the things that they have described here are crimes. They're policy violations. If he had committed a crime, they would have listed it. I seriously doubt they will ever charge Preston Hemphill with any crimes. Because, as I've said before, I don't see any crimes being committed. So, in my opinion, whoever made this report, you lied. So, Hemphill, I don't know what you want to do that. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.